Hello everyone, welcome to eMath Edge. My name is David Akwashki and I'm here to help you master mathematics and give you the edge you need to succeed in your exams. Here at eMath Edge, I'll practically be solving mathematics past question for senior school certificate examinations for Nigerian students and possibly students across the Africa, where I will be breaking down the whole process into simple, easy to understand steps. I actually understand that preparing for mathematics exams can really be hectic, but believe me, understanding how to approach these questions, most especially the AC part, will ease you a whole lot of stress. And that is what this platform is designed to do for you. Each video tutorial is designed to boost your confidence and make math exams feel less like a mystery, but more like a basic thing you can conquer. So having said that, let's get started. So we are going to be starting with the topic trigonometry. Here I asked ChatGPT to bring out past questions from the topic trigonometry with details for me. And we have question number 1 to be a WAEC question for 2019, question number 5A, which carries a total mark of 6. And what is the question saying? Solve for the value of x in the equation. Solve for the value of x in the equation. And where is the equation? This is the equation. Sine 2x is equal to cos x, such that 0 degrees is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 360 degrees. So what this is actually saying is the value you are going to obtain for x, or the set of values for x, must be between the range 0 degrees and 360 degrees. If you have anything above 360 degrees or below 0 degrees, that means something is wrong somewhere. So let's proceed by writing our solution. Now the question is sine 2x equal to cos x. But there's something you need to note. But sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cos x. So this is a formula in trigonometry called the double angle identity formula. The double angle identity formula. So this is a formula in trigonometry which subsequently we are going to be looking at. But for now and for the sake of this question, you have to note that sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cos x. So having known that sine 2x is equal to 2 sine x cos x, the next thing you are going to do is to substitute 2 sine x cos x into this initial equation, which is sine 2x. So instead of having sine 2x, we are going to have it to be 2 sine x cos x to be equal to cos x. So having obtained this this equation, the next thing to do is to try to balance the equation. So how do we do that? We bring this cos x, which is at the right hand side, to the left hand side to have everything equate to 0. So we are going to have 2 sine x cos x minus cos x to be equal to 0, right? There's something we can still do further to simplify this equation, which is if you check the first term, we have cos x, and if you check the second term, we also have cos x. So that means we can factor out cos x, right? To simplify the equation, we can factor out cos x. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we factor out cos x, it means we are going to have cos x to be equal to, when you factor out cos x from this term, which is 2 sine x cos x, you are going to be left with 2 sine x minus, so if you factor out cos x from the second term, which is cos x, you are going to be left with 1. Everything is equal to 0. So with this, we are going to have two different cases. With this, we have two different cases, or two cases. And what are those two cases? Case number 1 Case number 1 is going to be cos x equal to 0. This is case number 1. Cos x is equal to 0. Now, so what we are simply going to do is to obtain the value of x when cos x is equal to 0. And how do you do that? You go to your trigonometry table. In your trigonometry table, we have the angles and degrees, we have the angles and radians, and we have the sines, cos, tan, and cot. So from here, you will be able to obtain the value of x in degrees by, since we have cos x to be equal to 0, so you check the column for cos x. Where do you have 0? We have 0 at 90 degrees, and we also have 0 at, let's go down, we also have 0 at 270 degrees. So 270 degrees and 90 degrees corresponds to when cos x is equal to 0. So we come back and have this to be, this implies that the value of x is equal to 90 degrees and 270 degrees. So these are the set of values when cos x is equal to 0 from the trigonometry table. So we also have the second case to be case 2. And case 2, we focus on the second factor here, which is 2 sine x minus 1. We equate it to 0 also. So we are going to have it to be 2 sine x minus 1 equal to 0. Now we can simplify this equation further. And how do we do that? We take the constant number, which is 1, to the right hand side. Let's simplify it by taking the constant number to the right hand side. We are going to be left with 2 sine x to be equal to 1, right? We can further say divide through, or divide both sides, divide through by 2. By the time you divide both sides by 2, or divide through by 2, you are going to have 2 sine x divided by 2 equal to 1 divided by 2, such that 2 can go with 2, and we will be left with sine x to be equal to 1 all over 2. So what we are going to do now is to obtain, or to get the value of x in degrees that corresponds with when sine x is equal to 1 all over 2, and that will take us back to the trigonometry table again. And now this time around, we are focusing on the sine column and no longer the cos column, which we used earlier. So you check the sine column. Checking the sine column, you check which at which point, or at which angle do we have sine to be 1 all over 2. So if you check, we have sine to be 1 all over 2 here, and it is corresponding to 30 degrees. And if you go further, you will see that we have at if you go further, at 150 degrees, we also have sine to be 1 all over 2. So we go back to our workspace. At 30 degrees and also at 150 degrees, we have the value of sine to be, or sine x to be 1 all over 2. So at this point, we can quickly say that this implies that x is equal to 30 degrees and 150 degrees. So these are the set of values for x. When sine x is equal to 1 all over 2, we have 30 degrees and 150 degrees. And when cos x is equal to 0, we have 90 degrees and 270 degrees. So therefore we can conclude by saying that x is equal to 30 degrees we have 90 degrees, we have 150 degrees, and 270 degrees, which we obtained earlier from cos x equal to 0. So with this, these are the sets of values of x which we are asked to find. And remember, initially we were told that the set of values of x, or x, must be between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. And if you check all these sets of values, 30 degrees, 90 degrees, 150 degrees and 270 degrees, are all in between the range 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So let's further check if these values we obtain are correct or not. So how do we do that? Let's write out check. Now, what is our initial equation? The initial equation is sine 2x is equal to cos x. So for you to confirm that this set of values of x, 30 degrees, 90 degrees, 150 degrees, and also 270 degrees is correct, you substitute any of these values in these equations. So if we are using 30 degrees to confirm, that means we are going to substitute 30 degrees in place of x. And we are also going to substitute 30 degrees in place of this x. So whatever you have for the left hand side must be equal to the right hand side. So let's use the second one, which is 90 degrees, to check. So we have sine 2 into the bracket of 90, right, equal to cos, instead of x we have 90, right? So 2 multiplied by 90, we are going to have sine 180 degrees equal to, we are going to have this to remain cos 90 degrees, right? So let's further solve this by punching our calculator. Let's check when sine x is equal to 180, sine 180, I have 0. Cos 90, let's check for cos 90. Cos 90, I also have 0. So the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. The left hand side must be equal to the right hand side. If you get two different values, that means something is wrong somewhere, or possibly your final answer or the value of x is not correct. But when you have the left hand side to be equal to the right hand side, that confirms that the value you obtain for x is correct. So you can go further and check for 30 degrees, 150 degrees, and also 250 degrees respectively. Kindly note that the link to this workspace will be made available for you below this video so that you can access the workings for better assimilation. With that being said, that will be all for this video. Stay tuned and engaged for the next one. Also, remember that the goal of this platform is to solve as many past questions as possible just to help you overcome maths exams tension. So if you have any challenging question from this topic you would like me to solve, kindly drop them in the comment section or reach out to me via email or DM and I will be glad to assist. Thanks for watching and have a great day.